said, can I share something with you? That's my book. She said, here, have it. No, I don't want it. I said, I wrote it and I was told this morning to, you know, I had to be here. And she's still standing. She hasn't even looked to see what So I thought, I'll move away from her, let her have a bit of space. And then she looks and then she calls me back, you know, talk to me. She said, I've started to get goosebumps. She said, I think I need to buy this book. They're going, yes! And I said, would you like me to sign it? And she was, you know, and I was vibrating. I came out of that shop, the whole of my energy field. I had angels everywhere, leaping up and down. They were so excited. I saw her later walking down the street, totally bemused. Now, at some point, she would have, I feel, we will never know, but she would have put out a prayer for something. Please guide me, show me, whatever it was. And because I opened myself up and I asked to be of service to humanity, that's my biggest mantra, then in my sleepy state, they're going to go, okay, you can do this today. And that moment, now when I got home, the kids went, well, that wasn't exciting. One book? You saw one book? And I'm going, there's nothing to do with the book, you know, the selling of it. I said, if you were in a bookshop and you had just pulled out Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling popping around the corner, you know, how amazing would that be? And they're, oh yeah, they understand that. So it's paying attention. Now, if the children had come with me, I probably wouldn't have held that absolute focus, because that divine timing was a split second. She pulled it out, she could have put it straight back. You know, but they got me into the right place. So that is just such a thrill when that happens. So, yeah, sitting in silence. The doorway to heaven is within you. Now, that's such a special feeling when I ever see that, because I think I need to go inside. That opening is right inside me. All I need to do is tap into that consciousness from God and bring it through. I had a lady, she took the cards and she'd been working with them, and she rang me in an absolute state of, I would say, panic, actually. She was going into hospital just for a checkup, and she thought, I'll use Annie's cards. You know, Annie raves about, you know, Spirit will always guide you. 3 or 4 days in a row, she shuffled these cards, 44 cards. She got the identical card, which was this one, and she freaked out. She thought she was going to die, because she thought that doorway to heaven. She was nervous. She rang me, and I said, to me that doesn't mean that, but I won't jump at that, because, you know, I hold everybody in reverence. And I said to her, leave it with me, you leave the worry behind, just leave it with me. I felt kind of responsible. And the next day I meditated, I didn't get anything. Then I went to the cards, I took the cards and I took them in my hand, and I just said, please show me the highest focus for me today. I shuffled all my cards and I picked the identical card. And then I knew that I could basically channel and tune in for her. And it didn't mean that at all. It was all about her going inside and finding out why she was unwell, what the cause was, and so she felt a lot, and she's very relieved now. So that's the doorway to heaven. Love conquers fear. The two vibrations simply cannot exist side by side. Now that is so beautiful and it's so simple, but when I picked that one, I wasn't so sure I knew really what it meant. And I thought, people are going to ask me, what does this mean? And so I asked when I went to bed one night, I said, angels, show me, like, give me the feeling. What does it really mean that, when that comes to you? And I woke up and I had it. When we are feeling love, any type of love, divine love, our heart center is open. When we're in fear, our heart center is shut. We cannot have an open heart and a shut heart at the same time. So where we are ever in fear, in anger, any of these lower vibrations, because we don't really want to hang out there, if we can bring love into the situation, it will transform and transmute it totally. I have absolute knowing that if you cannot feel love in yourself, so say you've had an argument with someone, or there's some distressing thing that's going on in your life and you can't feel it within you, like, you know, that loving space is kind of shut down and you can't bring it up to the fore, if you invoke divine love to come through, it'll be gone. It'll transmute it because it's coming through you and it's not of you. That divine love just opens up this heart center hugely. And I have an experience where my two kids, they must have been 6 and 8, and they were fighting in the park. My younger one was always doing something to the other one. And they ran off, and my older one, Ben, was so mad. His whole body was anger, and he was going to just splatter this kid at home, and I couldn't catch up with either of them because and Sammy was beetling his way, running, and the other one was, you know, anger. If you talk about red energy, it was everywhere, and all I could see was this angry back. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get home, and Sam's going to be pulp. What should I do? And at that moment, you know, I asked, you know, help? I just saturated him with divine love from his back. I just kept saying over and over again, may divine love fill Ben. May divine love fill Ben. That's all I could do. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't run after them. All the way home, I followed this little angry child. And when I got home, there was nothing. Everyone was in different rooms. It was so quiet there. And I thought, oh my goodness, it works. Because divine love can transmute and can transform anything. So when we get into this lower vibration, which we all dip in and out of it. None of us are here all the time, you know, up on that higher level, you know. I mean, if we practiced, we probably could be. But for me, I use the cards, I use tools that will help me in the daytime or nighttime to lift my energy. So the challenge for us is to, yes, we may dip down, we may feel depressed, we may feel sad or angry, whatever, but it's to try and pull ourselves really up quickly so that we don't get caught and dragged down, because all that happens is we get caught in a spiral. So if you can bring that divine love in, at all times you can transmute all sorts. So I'm going to just dip in here and introduce my book, because out of the, I'll just make sure it is, yes. So a small book of universal wisdom. This has come through, this is all channeled writing, has come through from the Ascended Masters in the Angelic Realm in meditation, and I received a series of teachings. So they've come through as a series of teachings. The chapters are things like awakening of the soul, to make sure that we are awakening ourselves. There's a chapter on healing, there's a chapter on opening your heart, which Lorraine was talking about. It's so important to have our hearts open. It's the only way, particularly as healers, that we can work, is having an open heart. We can't go to heal someone if we're all shut down and we've got all our stuff and our baggage all sitting there. So we need to open that up. There is a chapter on thought forms, which is very, we'll jump here. Seek to be of service to one another's souls to help them grow and move forward. This is what we're doing as healers, and there's a chapter on healing in here, is that we're not particularly just healing the physical body. It's so important. We can get so caught up with the person wanting to go out there and just be healed and know they were no good, because It's all that emotional stuff that needs to come up and to help that soul, not that person, that personality, but that soul grow and move forward. That's for me the key with the healing.